So let's now go to heat number 1 of the Australian Sprint Car title. Ian Lewis on camera, Bill Barrows in the number 16 car, just about set for a start in heat number 1 of the Australian Sprint Car Championship from Canberra's Pepsi Powerdome. And Bill Barrows goes through on the inside. Looks like Ivan Wilson, the early race leader. Bill Barrows on camera there. Ivan Wilson from Sydney's Parramatta City Raceway leading down into turn number 3. Now coming through on the inside as they straighten up for the run down the main straightaway is Ian Lewis. Bill Barrows through in the number 16 car, and Dennis Farr looking for a way around the outside. Now Dennis Farr down onto the inside of the racetrack, moves up a position on Stephen Gall. Now setting his sights on Bill Barrows, dives hard underneath Bill Barrows, coming onto the main straightaway to complete another lap. Still Bill Barrows there being pressured. Dennis Farr on the high line once again, goes out into no man's land in actual fact, coming again with a block-busting run around the outside, moves up on Barrows. Barrows comes again, and ahead of them is Ivan Wilson. Great scrap in the opening heat for the Australian title. Ivan Wilson gets a little out of shape, brings down Bill Barrows, also Stephen Gall involved. Ivan Wilson going to the infield. The race continues, however, and here's this scrap continuing between Bill Barrows and Dennis Farr. Coming off turn number 4, Barrows in the number 16 race car, Dennis Farr in hot pursuit, driving for Bars Leaks, the High Bar Gambler race car. Now looking for a way through on the inside once again. Now gets through on the inside of Barrows. Barrows coming again, however, on the outside. A great scrap this in the opening heat. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, of course, is Ian Lewis well clear at this stage. But this is where the interest is, in the battle for the minor placings. Still Bill Barrows with that advantage over Dennis Farr. 1 lap remaining for the first heat. Farr coming through once again on the inside and trying to hold Barrows at bay in the opening heat. There's the race leader, Ian Lewis, well clear at this stage, coming off turn number 4, and will go on and take heat number 1 of the Australian Sprint Car Championship. Looks like Dennis Farr will get up for second position, and coming in third was Bill Barrows. Just waiting on the remainder of the field to complete the distance. I think you'll find Stephen Gall through in 4th position, and coming in 5th spot was John Shaw. But no doubting the race winner. There he is on screen. Ian Lewis officially plays first. Dennis Farr from New South Wales second, and coming in third was Bill Barrows from South Australia. That's the placings in heat number 1. Heat number 2 now, and on screen Max Dumsney driving the John Sydney OTR number 5 car. This is heat number 2, bringing together a good field. Rob Dawkins there from Tasmania in the number 7 car. Man on the pole position, Trevor Shields in car number 17 from Sydney. John Maneef driving car number 14. Driving for Central District Smash Repairs in Sydney, Bob Blacklaw, just about set for a start this time as they run down into turn number 1 on the first occasion. Trevor Shields leading from Maneef and Bob Blacklaw. Kelly going through there on the inside, followed by Dawkins from Tasmania. Now Blacklaw looking for a way through on the inside of John Maneef as they come off turn number 4. Maneef in the number 14 car, Blacklaw driving car number 78, and Maneef gets a little out of shape as Blacklaw closes that gap. Kelly on the outside. Now Rob Dawkins coming through at a rate of knots, and Max Dumsney from the back of the field really putting in the high-speed runs through turn 4. There's Maneef on screen at the present time. While all this is going on, of course, the race leader is Trevor Shields. Now looking at Max Dumsney in the number 5 OTR car, moving up on John Maneef. Max Dumsney going high, coming down low onto the main straightaway to complete yet another lap. Also through there is Kelly, followed by Dawkins. And Max Dumsney now going through for an inside pass on John Maneef, moving up yet one more placing, and hooks a rut coming through turn number 3, gets right out of shape, continues to keep on standing on the gas. However, down in turn number 1, Max Dumsney now hot out after the minor place getters, and John Maneef on screen now, followed by Bob Kelly. That's the order down into turn number 3. And Kelly going through on the inside of John Maneef to move up a placing. This is where the scrap is for the lead, and Bob Blacklaw now going the high line on Trevor Shields. Shields holding on, and Blacklaw coming again on the outside. Shields comes back on the inside, and Max Dumsney now coming into the picture. A great battle for the front running and Blacklaw up high, looking for a way yet again around the outside. Gets it this time as they run down onto the back straight. Trevor Shields still holding down second spot, and now Bob Blacklaw clearing away in actual fact as Max Dumsney zooms in on Trevor Shields. 1 lap remaining in heat number 2. Blacklaw leading. Max Dumsney now going the high line to try and take over second spot from Shields. Shields not giving in without a fight, and Max Dumsney coming yet again, screams around the outside. Coming off turn 4, Blacklaw will go on and take the win. Max Dumsney officially placed second in a top drive from the back, and coming in third was Trevor Shields. There's the race winner on screen, Bob Blacklaw. Certainly Bob Blacklaw, one of the most colourful characters in Australian sprint car racing, and a driver who over the years has used the Tognotti race car. Cars now on the track for heat number 3. Tony Smith there in the number 8 car. Bob Tunks, former Australian champion. Gary Warren also there in the number 24 car. And Kevin Worthington driving car number 49. That's the field for heat number 3. And charging down into the first turn, Tunks going through on the inside to pick up 1 placing on Tony Smith. Also in this event is Harry Delamont in the number 4 car, being pressed here by Gary Warren, who gets a little out of shape down in turn 3. Meanwhile, Tunks moving through now into the lead. Bob Tunks, former Australian champion, winner of this event way back in 1968 at the Sydney Showground Speedway in the days of super modifieds. There's Tony Smith in the number 8 car, the Dulux Auto Colour car, moving now through on the tail of Kelly as they run down the main straightaway. Tunks still the race leader. Smith moving up there on Kelly in the Winfield Racing sprint car, and the battle for the minor placing. Kelly on screen at the present time, and here's the race leader well clear at this stage, Bob Tunks, down into turn number 1 to complete yet another lap. Bob Tunks driving the CR&D entry, the number 54 High Bar car, the High Bar Gambler, down in turn 3, well clear, and doing it easily out in front at this stage. Kelly moving through, followed by Smith and also Harry Delamont. That's the top 4 as they run through and complete another lap. Harry Delamont getting a little out of shape, however. Tony Smith drifting a little high. Delamont closing that gap now and moving through up onto the inside and going through on the inside of Tony Smith in actual fact to move him up 1 more placing in the field. And of course that puts Harry Delamont now in 3rd spot. Harry Delamont on screen driving the High Bar Gambler car, running for Viscount Caravans down into turn number 1 on this occasion, now looking for a way through on the inside of Kelly. That's Kelly on screen in the number 25 car. Meanwhile, gets a little out of shape, hurtling the ruts as Harry Delamont moves up again on the tail of the Winfield Racing machine. Of course, while all this is happening, Bob Tunks is well clear at this stage, literally has this race shot to pieces. This is where the battle is between Kelly and Harry Delamont for the minor placings. Kelly striking problems there, and this allows Harry Delamont through. Also there, Tony Smith, now in the latter stages of this event, and a good win going out to Bob Tunks. Harry Delamont will take 2nd, and coming in 3rd was Tony Smith. There's the placings, Tunks, Delamont and Tony Smith. This is heat number 4, and on the pole position, David Veers from Mount Gambier in South Australia, driving car number 18. Also there, Bruce White in the number 96 car. Also in this event, Neville Carter, and former national champion at the back of the field, Brett Lacey in the number 26 car. In actual fact, going from position number 4, there's Lacey on screen at the present time in the number 26 Partridge Steel entry. Moving through on the inside there, it looks like of Neville Carter in the number 59 race car, and moving up a position as they run down into the first turn. Bruce White in 2nd spot, Carter coming again on the inside. However, now Brett Lacey safely through into 3rd spot at this stage. There's Bruce White in the number 96 car, and the race leader going down the main straightaway once again as we move into turn number 1 is David Veers, Brett Lacey, Bruce White, Neville Carter and Barry Lewis there in Canberra range in the number 11 race car. David Veers still leading, however, but all the pressure being applied by Brett Lacey, former national champion, winner of this event at Darwin's Northline Speedway in 1986, now going through on the inside, and ever so easy, thank you very much, takes over the race lead in heat number 4. Brett Lacey doing it nicely out in front. Charges off turn number 4. Down the main straight, completes yet another lap in the number 26 race car. David Veers still in second spot, followed by Bruce White. Also there, Barry Lewis in the High Bar Gambler car. There's Bruce White on camera at the present time, holding down third spot at this stage. David Veers still in running in second position, and of course the race leader, well clear at this stage, is Brett Lacey. Barry Lewis moves up on the inside there to gain another placing, this time through on the inside of Bruce White. Barry Lewis, former sedan driver, who these days showing his interest yet again in sprint car racing. Moving now towards the latter stages of the race, and here's the race leader on camera, coming off the fourth turn and doing it ever so easily. Driving for Partridge Steel and Lacey's Automotive Repairs, Brett Lacey, second generation racer, hurtling the bumps and well clear, and will go on and take a good win in the fourth heat of the Australian Sprint Car Championship. And David Veers taking second position, and just checking third placing, looks like Barry Lewis officially placed third. No doubting the race winner, however, Brett Lacey, took over the lead in the very early stages of the race and was never headed. There's the placings on screen. Brett Lacey from Victoria first, David Veers officially placed second, and a good third too, going out to New South Wales driver Barry Lewis in the number 11 Gambler car. Second generation driver Brooke Tatnell in the Australian Airlines Shell Oils car. So this is heat number 5. Gary Rush driving for Winfield Racing, and a 7 times past winner of this event. There's Gavin Migro on screen. Also there, second generation driver Jamie Moyle, as the pace starts to quicken as they come off turn number 4 for the start of heat number 5. And David Anderson hurtling through the ruts there as he gives chase to Gary Rush in the number 2 car. Down into turn number 3 on the first occasion. Rush moves through on the inside of Gavin Migro. Migro coming again, however, as they run into turn number 1. Also up high is Jamie Moyle hurtling the bumps, and Migro's through, followed by Rush as they both relegate Jamie Moyle back through the field. And now Rush screaming through on the inside of Gavin Migro and comes down the main straightaway. Gary Rush, 7 times Australian Sprint Car champion. David Anderson there on screen in the number 37 car. Gavin Migro getting up high and in all sorts of bother in the number 7 car from Claremont Speedway in Perth. Gavin Migro, after starting his career in Formula 500s, now moving into sprint car racing. There's Brooke Tatnell in the number 8 car. Moves up a position on Jamie Moyle. Both second generation drivers on screen at the present time. Brooke Tatnell in the number 8 car. As we watch now the cars come down the main straightaway. Nipper Lacey, the race leader, followed by Rush. Nipper Lacey out front, doing a nice job out in front at this stage. Gary Rush not that far behind and closing the gap as I speak. Nipper Lacey, the race leader, followed by Gary Rush. Gary Rush now almost right up on the tail of Nipper Lacey. Dives in hard through on the inside of Nipper Lacey. Lacey comes again on the outside, however, and skips clear as they run down into the third turn. And Nipper Lacey, the race leader, being pressed all the way by a charging Gary Rush, comes down low, down the main straightaway to complete another lap. Nipper Lacey, this is where the interest is at the head of the field. Nipper Lacey, the race leader, pressed hard all the way by the maestro of Australian Sprint Car Racing, Gary Rush, coming up to take the white flag, denoting 1 lap to go. Still Lacey leading, Gary Rush in second spot, and Rush now looking for a way through on the inside. Lacey holding on, Rush comes through again. Lacey a little out of shape, and Gary Rush goes through to take the lead with half a lap remaining. Coming through now to go on and take a great win, Gary Rush, the race winner. Nipper Lacey certainly not disgraced, and a great second placing as the rest of the field streams on through. Looks like it'll be Brooke Tatnell getting up there for third position, but a great drive by Gary Rush. Maximum points first time out in his quest for the Australian title. Gary Rush first, Ray Lacey second, and Brooke Tatnell was third. Drivers from South Australia, Victoria, New South Wales, Tasmania and Queensland to contest heat number 6 of the 1989 edition of the Australian Sprint Car Championship. There's Colin Farr on screen in the Lander Toyota entry, car number 9 also there, driving for Caltex, Wayne Bunker. And Paul Lindbergh in the number 15 entry from Queensland, midget driver Paul Lindbergh. running sprint cars here in Canberra as the pace starts to quicken as they run down onto the first turn on the first occasion. Also through there is the number 3 car, that's Rob Rankin, as they run down into the third turn. One lap completed so far as they run down the main straightaway. There's Rankin, also there Colin Farr and Wayne Bunker. That's the running order at this stage of the race. And Rankin now looking for a way through. Gets a little out of shape there in the third turn. However, loses a little ground to Paul Lindbergh. Lindbergh from Rankin and Colin Farr also now coming into contention. This is where the interest is as Rankin goes through. It looks like Lindbergh has struck a suspension problem there. Obviously in bother with the number 15 car, and certainly he won't take any further part in this race. And Bunker are out of shape also there too, so plenty of action in this particular heat. While all this is going on, of course, coming down the main straightaway to complete another lap is Peter Catasti from Queensland, former Queensland champion Peter Catasti, and certainly doing it nicely out in front as we watch the dice between Rob Rankin and Colin Farr there. Colin Farr driving under sponsorship from Lander Toyota in Sydney, driving the number 9 high bar car. Colin Farr now coming down the main straightaway. Not too many laps to run in heat number 6. Colin Farr through there, still giving chase to Rob Rankin, and the race leader, Peter Catasti. Looks as though he's got this race safely parcelled up as we continue to watch Colin Farr. Rob Rankin driving car number 3. Certainly had his mind kept on the job by Colin Farr, but still safely in second position. Coming off the fourth turn, Rob Rankin in second spot and Colin Farr third. There's the race leader, Peter Catasti from North Queensland, runs a lot of the tracks in North Queensland in actual fact. Comes off the final corner, going on now to take the win. And here's the battle, and Colin Farr getting up in the shadows of the checkered flag. A good drive from Colin Farr to grab second placing from Rob Rankin. So that's the top 3. Peter Catasti, the race winner. Colin Farr from New South Wales in second position. And an equally impressive performance was Rob Rankin driving car number 3, representing Victoria, coming in third position. Dennis Burford from South Australia driving car number 9. Also there is Gary Rush Jr. in the number 51 OTR race car. John Walsh driving car number 75. And the former national champion Ron Cricky driving a Jeff Murphy car. Cricky won this event at the Claremont Speedway in Perth in 1985. Up the front it's Kevin McCullum from Geelong. Also there Phil Coates in the number 3 car from Tasmania as McCullum leads. From Coates followed by Ron Cricky and John Walsh. That's the top 4 running order on the first occasion. Ron Cricky gets a little high and John Walsh looking for a look through on the inside, but this is the first lap completed and still Kevin McCullum the race leader. Phil Coates sitting there comfortably in second position. John Walsh getting a little high. Ron Cricky in the number 99 car also there too. And Ron Cricky bouncing there, gets a little out of shape in actual fact and brings the... Oh, and John Walsh also involved, and Gary Rush Jr. Bad luck for John Walsh too, just starting to make a move through the field. Ron Cricky got a little out of shape and brought down John Walsh, and also Gary Rush Jr. involved. Okay, set to go once again, and it'll be Kevin McCullum leading them away from Phil Coates, the Tasmanian driver who's shown good form in Tasmania in actual fact, and his progress will certainly be watched closely here at the Nationals in Canberra, at the Canberra Pepsi Powerdome. That's Phil Coates in the number 3 car. Ron Cricky there driving the Jeff Murphy Race Care entry with sponsorship from Action Performance in Perth. Cricky going through now on the inside of Phil Coates. Good pass by Ron Cricky. That moves him up one more placing. And now setting off after Kevin McCullum. McCullum still leading and Cricky still there in second spot, and now this battle starting to develop for the front running. Kevin McCullum leading from Ron Cricky and also Phil Coates. Kevin McCullum driving sprint cars for a number of years in fact. Oh, and McCullum sideways. Loses out totally there to Ron Cricky. Bad luck indeed for Kevin McCullum. Meanwhile, Cricky continuing on his way. There he is on screen, unperturbed by the drama, and Ron Cricky, the race leader. Phil Coates still in second spot. And Ron Cricky has a handy advantage at this stage, although Phil Coates certainly not giving up the chase. But Ron Cricky looks to have everything under control at this stage. Phil Coates on camera at the present time, driving a steady race and certainly not giving up his shot at Ron Cricky. Now well into the last couple of laps of this event, and Cricky bouncing through, and now Phil Coates coming through. A great pass, a beautiful pass by Phil Coates. Oh, gets a little out of shape, however, and this allows Cricky through to go on and take a win. A great win, only a wheel in it, but you'll find that Ron Cricky got up in the shadows of the checkered flag to go on and take the win. Certainly a great performance there from Phil Coates also. The best of my knowledge, first time on the Canberra Powerdome, and certainly a tremendous drive. Almost got there, but Ron Cricky just got up in the last couple of metres to win this particular heat. That was heat number 7. And there's the placings. Ron Cricky first, Philip Coates from Tasmania second, and coming in third was Dennis Burford from... The defending Australian sprint car champion on screen, George Tatnall. Also there, Peter Addard in the number 53 car. Just about set this time as they line up. Brad Hayward driving car number 46, just about set for a start this time. Brad Hayward in the 46 car running for Agip Oils. Down there in the first corner one, going a little high and out of shape, is Darryl Nash in the number 7 car. This allows George Tatnall to scream through, and George Tatnall driving for Winfield Racing. Also there, Peter Addard, too, followed in turn by George Tatnall. And Brad Hayward, the race leader at this early stage. Nathan McDonald, the exciting 19-year-old star there from Queensland in the number 32 car. We just caught a short glimpse of him just a while back there as we watched George Tatnall. There's Peter Addard and the race leader Brad Hayward. Brad Hayward also there too as we zoom in now on George Tatnall, winner of this event at the Speedway Park circuit in Adelaide last year. Nathan McDonald in car number 32, certainly showing as a rookie driver certainly a lot of potential. Bad luck on that occasion, however, for Nathan McDonald, but one driver who has certainly impressed a lot of people so early in his career is Nathan McDonald, certainly following a strong performance at Parramatta City Raceway against Danny Smith not so long ago. However, this is where the interest is, at Canberra's Pepsi Powerdome, and there's the race leader, Brad Hayward, driving a Tognotti car, and well clear too, has a good lead at this stage. This is heat number 8. Meanwhile, there's action further back here with George Tatnall and Peter Addard. Not too many laps remaining now as Tatnall tries to get through on the inside of Addard. Addard still holding down second position at this stage. George Tatnall coming again, however. Addard looks to have the race safely parcelled up as far as a minor placing is concerned. Peter Addard in the number 53 car and George Tatnall battling for second and third in heat number 8. George Tatnall still holding down third spot as they cross the finish line. You'll find Brad Hayward the race winner, however. Peter Addard will take second, and coming in third as the rest of the field streamed through was George Tatnall, officially placed third. Dennis Farr driving car number 3, sponsored by Bars Leaks. Of course, earlier this season, Dennis Farr was team manager for the American drivers, Ron Schumann and Danny Smith in their Australian tour. John Shaw there on screen, driving car number 66. And also there too, Stephen Gall, former Mr. Motocross champion in car 95, and Ian Lewis in the second of those 95 cars too, just behind Stephen Gall. There's John Shaw leading Stephen Gall at this stage. Gall driving the CR&D entry. Also going through is Ian Lewis. And John Shaw getting right out of shape. This allows both number 95 cars through. There's Ian Lewis. Certainly one of the most experienced drivers in Australian racing, many years in midget racing, also dabbled in sedans too, and more recent years, of course, better known for his exploits in sprint car racing, and certainly one of the finest Australian sprint car drivers in more recent years is Ian Lewis, as we watch John Shaw there. Ian Lewis, a very competent star from Victoria, running of course not only in Victoria but South Australia, and ventures into New South Wales on several occasions and has performed well. As we watch Stephen Gall, a man well versed in motorsport. Stephen Gall driving the number 95 car. Meanwhile, there's the race leader, well clear at this stage, has a comfortable advantage, Dennis Farr. Dennis Farr showing a clean pan, hurdles the ruts down in turn number 1 and bouncing his way through turn number 1, down the back straight yet again. Gets a little high on the racetrack, Dennis Farr. One more lap remaining for Dennis Farr. Looks as though he's got this race well and truly parcelled up. Down the back straight on the final occasion, lines up for turn number 3. Dennis Farr now coming off turn number 4, going on to take a good win in heat number 9. Dennis Farr will be officially placed first, Stephen Gall second, and coming in third was Ian Lewis, followed by John Shaw, and also across the line too was Bill Barrows. But a good win going out to Dennis Farr, driving for Barsleeks, and there he is on screen. Stephen Gall second, Ian Lewis third, and just capping the other placings, John Shaw, you'll find, was placed fourth. Bill Barrows officially placed fifth. Heat number 10 of the Australian Sprint Car Championship, and on screen Max Dumsney, who during 1988 ventured to the United States and performed extremely well, running not only the World of Outlaws circuit but also several other race associations. And Max Dumsney to lead away heat number 10. Also there is John Kelly, also Dawkins from Tasmania, and Bob Blacklaw. On screen, Rob Dawkins, the Tasmanian entrant, gets right out of shape in actual fact, obviously running into some problems there as Bob Blacklaw goes through on the inside. John Kelly running in second spot, Trevor Shields also there too, and race leader at this early stage of the event is Max Dumsney. Watching now Bob Blacklaw in the Central District Smash Repairs Tognotti race car. Here's a battle going on for the minor placings. John Manish there in the number 14 car. Trevor Shields driving car number 17 at the tail of the field. Manish out of shape. And Dawkins also now coming into the picture. There he is, well clear at this stage. Max Dumsney driving the John Sydney OTR number 5 race car. Has a big break at this early stage. Dumsney lining up for turn number 3, and as I said earlier, certainly one of the very well performed drivers on the Australian scene, with experience in the United States over more recent years, and during 1988 had a great run of success in the United States. John Kelly on screen driving for Winfield Racing. John Manish heading to the infield there as the race continues. Also going through Bob Blacklaw and Trevor Shields, and now coming into the picture is Rob Dawkins. 1 lap remaining for Max Dumsney. Certainly a comfortable winner of heat number 10. Half a lap remaining for Max Dumsney. Lines up in turn number 3, coming up to put a lap on Rob Dawkins. Coming off the final turn and going on and taking the checkered flag. A good win going out to Max Dumsney in heat number 10. John Kelly will take second, while the battle for third looks like Bob Blacklaw will take third placing. But there's your race winner. On screen, Max Dumsney. Officially placed second from Queensland was John Kelly, while coming in third representing New South Wales was Bob Blacklaw.
Okay, so
So Stephen Gall certainly a lot on his plate at this stage as we watch the start of heat number 11 on screen. Bob Tunks in the number 54 car. Also there Harry Delamont as the field now moves on to the main straightaway for the start of heat number 11. And leading them away is Kevin Worthington, also there Gary Warren, Harry Delamont. Bob Tunks moves up a place on Harry Delamont as they run down into turn number 3. Gary Warren in the number 24 car. Race leader at this early stage is Kevin Worthington. Gary Warren goes high. This allows Bob Tunks now into second position. Bob Kelly there in the number 25 car. Tailing out also is Tony Smith. Harry Delamont through as Bob Kelly tries to move up on the tail of Harry Delamont. And Bob Tunks now going through to the lead. Kevin Worthington in second, followed by Gary Warren and Harry Delamont. But the race leader, driving for CR&D, Bob Tunks in the number 54 car. Also there, Kevin Worthington driving car number 49 in second position. Gary Warren getting a little out of shape now. This allows Delamont around the outside of Warren. Also Bob Kelly moving through too. And Tony Smith still at the tail of the field. There's Harry Delamont and Bob Kelly, followed by Warren, and still Tony Smith there from Tasmania, driving the Dulux Auto Colour entry, car number 8. And Gary Warren in all sorts of bother. And Bob Kelly trying to get through on the outside. That time of Harry Delamont couldn't pull off the pass. Not too many more laps remaining in heat number 11. Bob Tunks still the race leader from Kevin Worthington. Harry Delamont back there in third position. Certainly the interest for the minor placings. There's the advantage that Bob Tunks currently enjoys. And a good win going out to Bob Tunks, but the battle is for the minor placings. Kevin Worthington goes on to take second position. Third across the line was Harry Delamont, followed by Bob Kelly. Next across the line was Gary Warren, and tailing out the field was Tony Smith driving car number 8. But there's the race winner, Bob Tunks, a good win. Kevin Worthington officially placed second, while coming in third was Harry Delamont driving the number 4 car. Moving on now to heat number 12, and Brett Lacey driving the Lacey Bodyworks Partridge Steel entry, car number 26, to lead them away in heat number 12. Neville Carter also there in the number 59 race car. Bruce White there and David Veers from Mount Gambier in South Australia. Bruce White coming through on the tail now of Neville Carter. And this is a good battle going on for the minor placings. Neville Carter in the number 59 car, and Bruce White shoots through on the inside. And Bruce White driving car number 96, a beautiful inside pass. That moves him up one more placing. And at this stage, it's certainly a good performance too from Bruce White. However, the race leader still is Brett Lacey. Bruce White now in second position. David Veers back there in third. As the rest of the field streams on through. But certainly Brett Lacey way out in front. This is heat number 12. Brought to you by Carrick Video from Canberra's Pepsi Powerdome, the 1989 Australian Sprint Car Championship, as we watch Brett Lacey down in turn number 3. Coming off turn number 4, only a few laps remaining for Brett Lacey. And Neville Carter in bother there. Certainly Brett Lacey slowing the pace, but he has no worry. He's so far out in front. Just a couple of laps remaining now for Brett Lacey. Moves down into turn number 1, Brett Lacey. A comfortable leader at this stage. Down the back straightaway. Coming into the main straightaway, just one lap remaining for Brett Lacey. Bruce White still way back in second position, and I think you'll find David Veers still in third. Lacey doing it ever so easily out in front, coming down the straight to take the checkered flag, and a good win in heat number 12. Neville Carter, one of the lap cars going through. Bruce White will be placed second, and I think you'll find David Veers going through now for third placing. So there's your winner, Brett Lacey. Certainly a very easy win for Brett Lacey. Bruce White second, David Veers third. Heat number 13. On the track, Gary Rush driving car number 2, David Anderson in car number 37. Second generation driver Brooke Tatnell driving car number 8 for Shell Oils and Australian Airlines. Tatnell taking the green flag and first into turn number 1. Gavin Migro going through or attempting to take a low line on David Anderson. And drifts up high. Now Anderson coming through on the inside. Migro up high and wheel hiking down the main straightaway, rubbing wheels with David Anderson, but David Anderson moves through and Migro spins and out of contention. Also David Anderson around sideways and is collected by Jamie Moyle. Well, certainly plenty of action in heat number 13. Unlucky for some, certainly unlucky for David Anderson and Gavin Migro. There's Gary Rush, 7 times Australian champion. Ahead of him, Brooke Tatnell. Pace starts to quicken once again, coming down the main straightaway. Brooke Tatnell leading from Rush. Also there, Nipper Lacey. Rush aims through on the inside. Brooke Tatnell still leads. And Rush coming again on the inside. Certainly Brooke Tatnell, one of the up-and-coming stars of Australian sprint car racing, one of the young lions of the sprint car set, and doing a great job out in front as Gary Rush gives chase in the number 2 Winfield Gambler. Brooke Tatnell, the race leader, coming off turn number 4. Rush in second spot, followed by Nipper Lacey back in third placing. This is where the interest is at the head of the field, however. There's Gary Rush giving chase to young Brooke Tatnell. Completing another lap is Brooke Tatnell. Dives down into turn number 1. Brooke Tatnell doing it nicely out in front. Gets a little out of shape just as I speak. You wouldn't believe it, spins to the infield and is out of contention. Gary Rush going through to take over the race lead. Bad luck for Brooke Tatnell, now rejoining the race back in third position, but certainly hard luck indeed for the young racer, the talented young racer Brooke Tatnell. This allows Gary Rush a saloon passage through into the front running. Gary Rush with a big break now over Nipper Lacey, and Brooke Tatnell in third spot. 1 lap remaining for Gary Rush. White flag denoting just 1 lap remaining of the Canberra Pepsi Powerdome. Down into the bottom corner for Gary Rush. Coming off the final turn, taking the checkered flag, and a good win in heat number 13 to Gary Rush. Close for second, but Nipper Lacey will get the money from Brooke Tatnell in third spot. The highlights of Australian sprint car racing has been the onslaught of young second generation drivers. Certainly impressive names now coming through the rank. That's a little later on in the program. However, we move now to heat number 14, Wayne Bunker. Out on the racetrack, Colin Farr, Rob Rankin in car number 3, Paul Lindbergh and Peter Catasti, the field for heat number 14. Green flag out, pace starts to quicken, and Wayne Bunker leads them down into the first turn. Colin Farr next one through, followed by Rob Rankin. Also there is Paul Lindbergh in the number 15 car, and tailing out the action is Peter Catasti. Car's getting a little out of shape as they hurdle the ruts. And here's the interest at the head of the field. Wayne Bunker still leading. Colin Farr right there in contention. Wayne Bunker doing a nice job out in front. Next one through, of course, is Colin Farr. Rob Rankin followed by Lindbergh, and now Catasti trying for an inside run on Paul Lindbergh. And Colin Farr now looking strong on the inside, but Bunker still leads. Farr coming again, but still Bunker in contention, still leading. Bunker going high. Colin Farr seizing the opportunity, gets a little out of shape that time, however, still Bunker leading. Certainly some close racing in heat number 14 for the major and minor placings for that matter. Rob Rankin there in car number 3. He's holding down third position, but he's got plenty of work to do. Paul Lindbergh right behind, and a wheel hiking Peter Catasti trying to take both drivers. Lindbergh gets just a little offline. Still Catasti right there in car number 10. 2 laps remaining, and Lindbergh goes high and drops to the tail of the field. Still Bunker, the race leader, coming up to take the white flag with just 1 lap remaining in heat number 14. Colin Farr still there in second position. There's Wayne Bunker down in the bottom corner. Coming off the last turn now to go on and take the checkered flag. Wayne Bunker first. Colin Farr will get second. And a good scrap for the minor placing. Looks like Rob Rankin taking third. Next one through was Paul Lindbergh, and last man home was Peter Catasti. Certainly a good win going out to Wayne Bunker. Led from flag to flag, Colin Farr second and Rob Rankin third. Dennis Burford there in car number 9, followed by Ron Cricky. On the outside is John Walsh. Walsh right around the outside of Dennis Burford, and tailing out there is Ron Cricky. Now Cricky going through on the inside of Burford. Meanwhile, Gary Rush Jr., the race leader. John Walsh followed through by Ron Cricky. There's Ron Cricky now in the Action Performance Murphy race car. Down into turn number 3, holding a mid-track position. Gets a little out of shape coming off turn number 4 onto the main straightaway to complete another lap. Meanwhile, the race leader, and certainly doing it nicely out in front, is Gary Rush Jr. And one in bother there looks like Philip Coates. Just checking the number of that race car. Around sideways in turn number 1. Okay, Gary Rush Jr. to lead the field away once again. John Walsh there in second spot, followed by Ron Cricky. That's the top 3 at this stage of heat number 15. Pace starts to quicken coming off turn 4. Green flag displayed once again, and Gary Rush Jr. leads them down, and now John Walsh through onto the inside to take over the race lead. Kevin McCullum further back there, and Dennis Burford also there. There's Gary Rush Jr. and Ron Cricky back in third position. So it's John Walsh leading coming off the 4th turn onto the main straight from Gary Rush Jr. One up high is Dennis Burford. This allows Philip Coates to pick up 1 position. Kevin McCullum also at the tail of the field. Interest here with the top 3 runners. John Walsh showing a fair turn of speed out in front. Gary Rush Jr. certainly not out of contention at this stage, and Ron Cricky also doing a nice job back there in third position. Gary Rush Jr. working the wheel of the OTR race car, the number 51 race car. And John Walsh in all sorts of bother. You can see the pictures tell the full story of John Walsh's plight in heat number 15. Bad luck indeed for John Walsh, obviously taking no further part in heat number 15. This allows Gary Rush Jr. now to take over the race lead. Ron Cricky still in second position, I think you'll find, as a dejected John Walsh pulls to the infield. There's Gary Rush Jr. and still certainly not out of contention is Ron Cricky. Only 2 laps remaining. Coming up to take the white flag with just 1 lap remaining in heat number 15. Certainly Gary Rush Jr. done a fine job in this race. Ron Cricky just closing that gap narrowly, but I think he's left his run too late. Half a lap remaining for Gary Rush Jr. Lines up in turn number 3. Ron Cricky in actual fact dropping off the pace. Coming off turn number 4 to take a good ring, Gary Rush Jr. Ron Cricky will take second. Just checking the third place getter as they cross the line. Looks like it'll be Phil Coates coming through now. There's the placings as they cross the line. Gary Rush Jr. a good win. Ron Cricky officially placed second from Western Australia, while coming in third was Rob Rankin from Victoria. Just waiting on the field to line up. Looks like Christie from the ACT. Bringing the field around for a somewhat slow start. George Tatnall up high around the outside of Nathan McDonald. Christie, the race leader. Tatnall certainly making the best of the early running and looking for a way up on the high line now. And George Tatnall bumping his way through turn number 3. This allows Nathan McDonald through on the inside. And one also there too trying to get through on Tatnall is Peter Attard. Tatnall now consolidating his third placing, however, and Brad Hayward now moving into contention on Peter Attard down the back straightaway. There's George Tatnall, the defending Australian sprint car champion, coming down the main straightaway. Peter Attard there in the number 53 car, and now Brad Hayward working really hard on Peter Attard. And Christie up high, and this allows young Nathan McDonald through. Also George Tatnall following Nathan McDonald through to take over second running. And Nathan McDonald leading a heat of the Australian Sprint Car Championship, but he's got all the work to do as it's a hard-charging George Tatnall trying to close that gap. Loses a little ground, if anything, down the back straightaway. Also there, Christie, and now Attard looking for a way through or around whatever on John Christie, I should say. John Christie in the 11 car. However, still plenty of action here as Nathan McDonald continues to lead heat number 16. And Christie in bother there, obviously spinning to the infield. He's out of contention as Peter Attard goes through. But it's still Nathan McDonald leading from George Tatnall. Certainly a fine display from the young rookie from Queensland. Nathan McDonald down the main straightaway once again. Has a handy advantage lining up into turn number 3. Nathan McDonald, the race leader. George Tatnall running in second spot. And Peter Attard there through in third position. Still Nathan McDonald leading. And a good win going out to Nathan McDonald. George Tatnall will take second spot, while coming in third was Peter Attard. And just checking the placings there, also fourth was Brad Hayward. So a good win going out to young Nathan McDonald. Certainly one of the very promising young rookies on the Australian sprint car scene.